of history's embrace. Captain's quarters sets the pace with Captain Mayhem at the helm. A voyage of knowledge, a story to round. Captain's quarters weekly delight, where history's treasures take flight. Led by Mayhem, Longwood, and Joe, they explore the past, row by row. Navigate along with charts the course, guiding listeners to knowledge's source. Cartographer Joe with maps in hand unveils.
Hey, Captain's Quarters Podcast coming at you live from St. Augustine, Florida. And guess what? It is May 7th, and this is our 180th episode. Can you believe it, Mandy and Dave? We've made it 180 episodes.
Yay, 180.
Hey, we need a cannon fire for that one. Or at least some noise. There we go. 180 episodes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Captain's Quarters Podcast. It's nice to see we have a few people watching us. And as always, we welcome everyone to the show. And we hope that you will tune in every week once you find out how to be a part of our show. And Davey, how do we do that? There it is. A QR code, ladies and gentlemen. That thing with all the squiggly dots. I'd like to know who actually invented that, because that's pretty interesting that all those dots can tell you something. It's interesting. Anyway, click on the QR code, ladies and gentlemen. It'll take you right to Captain's Quarters Podcast on YouTube, where you can follow us, like us, and subscribe to us. I always like it when people like us. It means a lot to me. So be on board with us and join our show. Join the ranks of our crew and become a part of the Captain's Quarters Podcast every Monday night at 8 o'clock. Now, we always like to start off with a little something upbeat now, since we've made some changes to our format. And I think upbeat is Mini Mayhem. Is he waiting in the wings there, Davey?
As always, he is waiting.
All right, well, bring him on board. I see Bo, and I see Mandy Joe, and I see Nightingale in Florida, and I see Zachary Wolf Harker. All right, go ahead, Davey. Throw it up there.
Ahoy, mates. Mini Mayhem here with Joke of the Week. Sponsored by our good friend Travis Romney of Salt City Comics. Why did the pirate allow rats to eat his pie on the ship? Think about it, and I will give you the answer at the end of the show.
I know this one, but I'm going to let it go. Yeah, I know this one. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. Go ahead. Go away. There we go. I'm learning some of these things too. We're trying to throw anything and everything we can in to just have some fun with it. I kind of like this one. All right. So at the end of the show, we'll give a reveal on Mini Mayhem's joke. I'm pretty sure I know, but we'll let it go at that. Hey, let's jump into this week in nautical history, and our sponsors are Ancient City Sirens. We are working on a video for them, but for now, let me just tell you, they are the premier dance crew of this part of Florida, if not the whole state. Ancient City Sirens. You might want to catch up with them. When we put some videos up there, you'll actually see how good they really are. For now, though, Davey, take it away.
We begin this week in nautical history, April 8th, 1776. Captain John Barry and the USS Lexington captures the Edward. April 8th, 1961. British liner Dara explodes in Persian Gulf, kills 236. April 9th, 1945. Battleship Admiral Scheer sunk by RAF bombing in Kiel. April 10th, 1912. RMS Titanic set sail from Southampton for her maiden and final voyage. April 11th, 1900. The first modern submarine designed and built by John Philip Holland. USS Holland is acquired by the U.S. Navy. April 12th, 1782. Battle at Les Sentes. British fleet under Admiral George Rodney defeats the French fleet under Comte de Grasse off Dominica in the West Indies, prevents a planned French and Spanish invasion of Jamaica. And finally, April 13th, 1940, Second Battle of Narvik. 3 German destroyers and 1 U-boat sunk by the Royal Navy. 5 more German destroyers scuttled. And that was this week in nautical history.
Very good, Davey. Very good. I was just looking at the calendar while you were doing those. Those are some really good ones, and I think we're going to come up with a few more historical ones through the summer because we got plenty of time to plan. And Davey and I are making some shorts, some plans to do some shorts so we can start putting them up also. Very good. Quote of the week, Davey, sponsored by Spyglass Travel. I'm actually doing something with Spyglass Travel on Wednesday, believe it or not. They called me up and have a fast need for a magician, so I'll be over there doing some work with them between 11:30 and 1, I think it is. So I will talk to them more about getting back on board with what we're doing and some pictures that I need from them. And we'll get that going too, Davey. You ready for that? All right?
Yes.
Good. So go ahead. What's our quote this week? Life is not a matter of holding good cards, but of playing a poor hand well. Robert Louis Stevenson. Aye. You know what? That's just as good as you live with the hand you're dealt. Pretty good. I like that one, Davey. Very good. Robert Louis Stevenson, who we all know wrote Treasure Island in 1883. Very good. All right. If nothing else, we have tidbits of all kinds of information to share with each and every one of you on this show. Hey, I haven't grown to be almost 67 years old without some useless information lodging in my head somewhere. Isn't that right, Mandy? All right. Now, Davey, this is the next. I sent you a couple of messages, but I know you and I both had so much going on for the weekend. Do we have a few extras for 8 Bells this week?
Yeah. So there's 4 8 Bells, and I got one special one from Fiddler's Green.
Yes. All right. It's the one for Captain Sinbad.
I don't think so. The one I have with our good buddy always does a full page one, and that's the one I got.
Okay.
I didn't see 2. I saw one.
Captain Sinbad may have not made it, but I'll say a few words about him in just a moment. Let's go ahead and do the 4. I know there's at least 2 celebrities, and who sponsors this 8 Bells? Marco's Pizza, ladies and gentlemen. You can't get a better pizza in all of St. Augustine, as far as I'm concerned. I enjoy their all-meat pizza or even their garden pizza, which has no meat whatsoever, although I'm not allowed to have pizza right now because, well, the captain's on a diet.
Navigator likes ground beef pizza, of course.
What's
It's like
that?
a hamburger. I said the Navigator likes ground beef pizza because it's like a hamburger.
Yeah, that's it. If they just covered it all with hamburger, you'd be happy.
Yes.
All right, so go ahead. Let's see what we got for 8 Bells. Val Edward Kilmer. Who does not know him? An American actor, originally a stage actor. He found fame after appearances in comedy films, starting with Top Secret and Real Genius in 1985, as well as the military action film Top Gun, 1986, and the fantasy film Willow. Kilmer gained acclaim for his portrayal of Jim Morrison in Oliver Stone's The Doors in 91. He was cast as a main character in films such as the Western Tombstone and the crime dramas True Romance and Heat. He portrayed Batman in Joel Schumacher's Batman Forever in 95 and continued to star in films such as The Ghost and the Darkness, The Saint, The Prince of Egypt, Alexander, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and The Snowman. In 2022, Kilmer reprised his role as Iceman in Top Gun Maverick 2022. His final film performance before his death. He was just 65 years old, but that list of movies shows he lived an entire full lifetime. And if you missed any of those movies, I suggest you get them. Onward. Patricia Ann Maloney, an American actress. Maloney was best known as Honk from Far Out Space Nuts, as Lumpy from Star Wars Holiday Special, and as Darla Hood from the animated TV series version of The Little Rascals. She appeared in Star Trek Voyager in '96. She was often a guest on the 1970s variety series Donnie and Marie, and portrayed the robot waitress Tina in the Buck Rogers in the 25th Century episode Cruise Ship to the Stars. For 1982, she was also an animation voice actor, worked on the Monopoly game show pilot, and even operated the Crypt Keeper puppet on Tales from the Crypt. Maloney appeared in Ernest Saves Christmas with California native Buddy Dog Douglas as Santa's two elves. She was 89 years old. J. Waverly North Jr., an American former actor. His career as a child actor began in the late 50s with roles in 8 TV series, 2 variety shows, and 3 feature films. At age 7, he became a household name for his role as the good-natured but mischievous Dennis Mitchell on the CBS situation comedy Dennis the Menace from 59 to 63, based on the comic strip by Hank Ketchum. After acting, he met his second wife and moved to Lake Butler, Florida, and became a correctional officer, reportedly working with troubled youth within Florida's juvenile justice system, and as of 2011, continued to work for the Florida Department of Corrections. He was 73 years old. Johnny Tillotson, an American singer-songwriter. He enjoyed his great success in the early 60s when he scored 9 top 10 hits on the pop, country, and adult contemporary Billboard charts, including Poetry in Motion, the self-penned It Keeps Right On Hurting, Talk Back, Trembling Lips, and Without You. In March 23, 2011, he was inducted into the Florida Artist Hall of Fame, which is the highest honor that the state of Florida bestows on an artist. He was 86 years old. Commodore Black Fox, Steve Kimball, from Glasgow, Delaware. He passed away this past week, and he will sorely be missed. I never had the opportunity to meet him, but I've read various accounts of his past pirating life, and he was well loved and well liked. And another one that we don't have, and that's my bad, Captain Sinbad, an actual real American pirate, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm not going to post everything or say everything I know for fear of disrespect and getting it all wrong. But I will tell you this. He actually received a letter of marque from Ronald Reagan. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he was a real American pirate. A letter of marque. I think we'll work something out to talk about him on our next show, just to make sure that we do him the honor that is bestowed. His relatives, his granddaughter, and I believe his daughter, have been in my house before, and had great sing-alongs here with all the pirates. So I will not say much more because I do not want to disrespect the memory of the man. So we will do something special next week. I'll work on that myself, Davey, okay? All right. Upon that note, ladies and gentlemen, of course, what we need is a cheer and 8 bells. Take it away, Davey. I see that my son, Will the Historian, has said Masahiro Hara. I'm sorry, my Japanese is terrible right now. Masahiro Hara created QR codes. Interesting. I'd be interested in how it actually all works. The Ghost and Darkness is a fantastic film. It is. I was partial to The Saint myself, having been a huge fan of The Saint with Roger Moore back in the 60s. When they made The Saint into a movie with Val Kilmer, I was reluctant to watch it, but I watched it and loved it. There's nothing Val Kilmer has done that I have disliked in any way, shape, or form. So he was a great actor. His range was wonderful. You could see him in so many roles. And I've watched some of the memorials of other entertainers speaking about him, and everybody held him in the highest of regard. So, all right. Which brings us to This Week in History. What do you think, Davey? You got This Week in History ready?
I
It
got
is
it.
sponsored by Dick's Wings, is it not?
It is.
All right, let's hear what you got.
Where does the captain take his hungry crew for a good lunch special? Why, Dick's Wings. Daily lunch specials even a pirate could afford. Why, look, a table filled with flavors and tastes for even the most discriminating of pirates. A great lunch and a great time is always had by all at Dick's Wings, St. Augustine, Florida, US 1 South.
We begin This Week in History, April 7th, 1927. First long-distance television transmission. An image of Secretary of Commerce Herbert Hoover sent from Washington, D.C. to New York City by AT&T. April 8th, 1943. U.S. President Franklin Roosevelt, in an attempt to check inflation, freezes wages and prices, prohibits workers from changing jobs unless the war effort would be aided thereby, and bars rate increases to common carriers and public utilities. April 9th, 1994. Rock for the Rainforest benefit concert held at Carnegie Hall, New York City. Performers include Sting, Elton John, James Taylor, Whitney Houston, Luciana Pavarotti, Aaron Neville, Tammy Wynette, Branford Marsalis, and Larry Adler. April 10th, 1953. House of Wax, first color 3D movie, premieres in New York. April 11th, 1970. Apollo 13 launch to the moon. Unable to land, returns in 6 days. April 12th, 1945. U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt dies in office, and Vice President Harry Truman is sworn in as 33rd U.S. President. And finally, April 13th, 2019, world's largest plane by wingspan at 117 meters. The Stratolaunch, built as a fly-in launch pad for satellites, takes its first flight from the Mojave, California. And that was This Week in History.
Hi, very good, Davey. I always appreciate all the effort you put into our videos. We can't do it without you, that's for sure. Are we keeping you awake, Mandy?
Yeah, and she's hours behind us, so she should be wide awake.
I know.
It's just been a fun last few days. So yeah, just catching up.
I can feel you on that. It's been. I just actually, let's see. Let me make Davey. We don't have a shot across the bow tonight, so we're going to go right into On the Horizon in just a minute. But I know, Mandy, you've had a whole boatload of challenges. This whole first 3 months of the year has been something, hasn't it?
Yeah, I had surgery and I've been in and out of procedures from that. And then Serenity, my 20-year-old, had surgery. And then I busted up my hand Saturday.
Yeah,
and
show
might have to
everybody.
have surgery on that. So if I actually took the brace off, my pinky turns sideways and falls over. It's great
Oh,
fun.
that's nice.
Yeah. And then
Hey, let's see that. That would be gross.
Nara's had all her drama. So it's been a fun jump to a year and trying to balance the work increase and I think it's across the board that people's temperaments have gone off like the deep end. I have had clients that have gone like completely like in a whole nother tangent that make no sense that I have never dealt with before in my life. I'm just like, this is crazy.
I maybe we'll make this kind of the shot across the bow. People need to step back a bit. The venom and the hate and the anger and the lack of civility is just it's outlandish. I just before the show tonight, just before I logged on, I saw a 1 minute and 45-second video, and I don't remember what state it happened in, but it was a road rage incident, and the one guy got out of his car screaming and hollering at another guy and walked up to the car, and it was a truck he walked up to, reached in and tried to punch the guy. But in the other hand, somebody else had taken a video, a dash cam video, and the guy had a gun in his hand when he walked up to the car, but used his fist first. Well, guess what? The guy inside the truck had a gun too, and pulled it and shot him point blank several times. It's just, it has become dangerous. There were protests downtown in St. Augustine on Saturday, as there were everywhere else.
Yeah.
Now I do not, and if anybody knows me, they know I'm about to say something true. I have no problem with your freedom of speech, none whatsoever. You're allowed to say whatever you want. The problem is people don't understand what freedom of speech is. Freedom of speech only really means that if you talk bad about the government can't come after you. But if you talk bad about other people, they can. The freedom of speech only relates to the government against their citizens and vice versa. The government cannot squash freedom of speech. You have that ability. If I don't like the way the last administration was, I can say whatever I damn well please, and the government can't come and get me. If you don't like what's going on now, you can say whatever you damn well please, and the government can't come and get you. But when you start throwing your friends under the bus, your family and your loved ones, there are consequences for that. And I'll give you an example. They were all on the other side of the street away from the Pirate Museum. Again, I have no problems with that. But they're standing at the only crosswalk, and there were hundreds of them this time, at least 200 or 300. They're standing at the only crosswalk that people leaving the fort to come into the city can cross. And I can't tell you how many times I saw families who were just here to be tourists, not part of the rhetoric that was going on, had small children and people in that group hollering ugly obscenities at these people because they would not join them or were trying to ignore them. And they had little children. That is crossing the line. Children do not need to be dragged into this. Children don't know. Anybody wants to argue about it, children learn what is good and bad from what their parents show them. And those children that were, I saw a couple of the children, they were scared to death. A shameful thing for all those people protesting. If you want to protest, protest. But screaming obscenities at innocent bystanders is wrong. I wish that, well, I won't say what I wish because that would get me in trouble. I just think people need to step back. It is not right. Do not drag people in. I can give you a good example. We were downtown, and this was several years ago when they were trying to remove a statue. I don't agree with that, but I happened to be downtown for another purpose, a business purpose, and I was dressed in pirate gear. So I have to make a good role model example. And somebody, I won't say anything about their ethnicity, somebody with 2 or 3 of their friends got in my face and called me a cracker. I just said, thank you very much. And the reason I said thank you very much is they have no clue that cracker is actually a term bestowed upon the first Florida Cowboys. It is a term of honor, but it just shows how stupid people can be. Didn't bother me. And it showed how silly they were because I had weapons on. But hollering and screaming at families with little children who just want to come to St. Augustine and be tourists and enjoy St. Augustine is wrong. And I truly, truly hated that, seeing that on Saturday. Again, I will reiterate, I have no problem with you voicing your dissent, your opinions, your feelings, but leave innocent bystanders and children out of your bad behavior. I think that should be enough said. What do you think, Mandy?
I think you're doing pretty good. I find it crazy though, like, so you had that issue down in St. Augustine. Here, some of my friends that were doing the protests, they have the video, they're all just peacefully doing their walk with their signs. There's not even like a lot of loud chanting, and they're on a side of a sidewalk, so there's still passageway. Some guy came running up with mace and started like pepper spraying and macing the protesters in the face. But because my friends were filming it, my friend that was filming it was his wife that got attacked. So he really rapidly, as Captain America to make this one fun, went and guarded with his shield. But like, why can't, like, when they are being peaceful, why are we going after them? Why are people, respect people's opinions and go? Don't shove it down people's throats, and don't tell them they're wrong and try to injure them or hurt them in their process if they're not doing anything.
Here's one somebody on our show just said, and I fully agree. That wasn't it. This one, Nightingale.
That one, Nightingale, yeah.
Freedom of speech is not permission for violence either. It isn't. There is nothing that advocates violence. Nothing. I mean, and while we're talking about it, let's just talk about, because I just find this ridiculously stupid. And not only stupid, it just shows the mindset of the people that are doing this that I'm about to say. Stop with the Tesla thing. It's some of the people that you're just that have Teslas, that are having their Teslas destroyed. Some of them are Democrats also. What's really hilarious, the Tesla company has already gotten their money. Somebody's bought a car, and the Tesla, so you damaging the car is actually giving Tesla more money, because they have to take the cars to Tesla companies to get them fixed, to get them repaired. So you're not keeping them from making money. You're not hurting Elon Musk. You're not hurting the Tesla company. You're showing your stupidity. And
Most of this stuff has all been
every
just
time I
that.
watch it, it makes me laugh. These people, I get what you want to do, but you actually aren't doing it at all. You are failing 100% in this. 100% failure to do what you think you're trying to do. It's not working. It's just showing that people don't pay attention to the cause and effect of the things going on around you. I've watched 3 posts today talk about stock market crashes. First off, let me say one more thing about Elon Musk. He only owns 12% of the company. You're not going to hurt him. And on stock market crashes, 88% of the stock market is run and done by 10% of the population of the United States of America. And some of those people are just going to make more money because all those stocks are falling. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to buy
selling
more now.
Well, they
So
were
when it
selling
finally-
that created it to go down.
What's that?
They started mass selling, and that's what starts creating them to go down. They lose value faster.
Absolutely. And some of those people that have money in the background are going to buy them all up, because when it goes back up, they're making money. So if 10% are playing or 88% is playing the market, that means that less than 25%, less than 20%, actually 88 to 12% of the population of the United States is not playing the market. Granted, I did hear one thing, so I will agree with this. Many people's 401s and 501s or whatever else does have some touch to the market. I understand that. But there have been 8 stock market crashes since 1929, which was Black Friday. 8 stock market crashes. And the stocks were even lower 6 years ago, I believe it was. Right around COVID. The stock market is like the tides. It goes out, it comes in. It goes out, it comes in. And a lot of the stock market, especially the oil, the price of oil, a barrel of oil right now is 60 some dollars now. I think $68. But what people don't understand is people are buying the oil based on future prices. That's why they're called futures. It's the same with some crops, corn and wheat. All the prices are based on futures. The people that want you to panic are the ones that want turmoil. Sit back and enjoy the ride. It's like a roller coaster. Some of it's thrilling. The only boring part is when you get back into the station and you have to get out. So, I think I've said enough, and hopefully I didn't say enough to get us thrown off the air. I only used cuss word twice, and I think the only word I used was damn. So we'll leave it at that. Here's one for you. It will always come back up. That's right. Here's another one. Just ride the stock market. No need to panic. It has been something that's happened in our history often, and it will continue to happen. Okay, on that note, on the horizon, we have started getting some requests for people to be on the show. But Mandy came up with this idea. If any of you are watching the show right now, this is our guest segment. If you have something you want to share, something special that happened, or something you think is really, really interesting, jump in right now in our messages and tell us. And if we're quick, Davey is very quick about this, we might actually be able to put your face in the screen with us. Right, Davey?
Yeah.
But let's see what happens. Let's see, while I'm waiting to see if anybody pops in. Eventually, yeah, the hard part is those closer to retirement that do not have the ability to recover it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I would agree with that. And the only thing I can say is this. I have nothing towards my retirement at all. I will continue to work until, in fact, I will probably do the ultimate magic trick when I die. I will be my own pallbearer. Yeah. So, live for the day. And Will the historian, stock market crashing in 29 did not collapse the economy overnight. It was the panic of people pulling their money out of the bank, and the bank couldn't cover it. Moral, don't panic. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And we've had 8 of those. None of them as bad as 29. And the one around COVID was the stock market dropped worse than it has right now. But panic is the thing that causes the problem. You're absolutely right. So, does anybody have an interesting tale or a enjoyable memory that you might share with us that would give us an idea for a topic of a show that we would like to do? Yes, that's true. Let's talk about Will the historian, because you know what, Will? We've talked about doing an episode on what you and Lauren went through so that you could have a little baby. And I would like to say, sometime in the next couple of weeks, William and Lauren will be giving the world a new, beautiful little girl, my newest granddaughter. So I will be very proud to have her on the show if you would like to do something about that when your life settles down, which actually, to be honest with you, once she's born, your life isn't going to settle down until she's 18 and wandering away. But for now, let's talk about putting you on the show as soon as we can, okay? I'd love to show off pictures or even videos of that cute little face that I'm sure she's going to be, because she'll look like her granddaddy without the beard. All right, let's see. Zachary Harker. I will ready to be on soon. I got to get some more dates and history from the other 4 lords for when I come on. And I think that, Zachary, did we talk about doing that in April, May, or June? Let me know. We're making notes now. I have a couple of new pirates that have become friends. and we're going to bring them on. And Parlay 8, we still open to come back on when we get back from vacation. Season is picking up, and we did our season finale for season 12. Won't start the show again until summer. Yes, and Davey and I both got to be a part of your season finale, and it was a lot of fun. And we would like to have you on. In fact, I think I'm going to see you this weekend coming up. The great Jay and Deborah Baruso. And I'm sure we can come up with some great ideas when we're sitting around drinking rum. And Jay and Deborah, tell me, do either of you smoke cigars? I'm building my stock up for the weekend. You're right, Zachary. We may not have set a date. Why don't you figure it out and tell me what's a good date for you, and then we'll go from there. Yes, it was a happy huzzah to Ballast birthday for the season finale. Absolutely right. Good. Ballast does. Well, Ballast, I'll have some cigars. We'll smoke one together. But for your birthday, I'll make sure I have an extra one for you to take and enjoy at another time. And we'll see what else might just spring to life as birthday for you. My birthday comes up in a couple of weeks, so we'll figure out. June it is. I'll look at all the dates in June, Zachary, and we'll figure it out from there. We'll pick June to go with it. I like that. Parlay, while we're in town on Sunday, might do some video clips so we can use them for the show. Oh, look, there it is. Mark Miller. Just wanted to say how much we enjoyed the Seafood Fest. I also wanted to remember Captain Horatio Sinbad. We should do an episode with his daughter Molly and his wife, Lieutenant Terry Brown. Absolutely. We did mention him in our 8 bells tonight, Mr. Miller. But because I did not have all the details I wanted to have, I told Davey that we would do something down the road. I would love to work out something for them to be here. Why don't you, you and I need to talk, and let's see if we can get them here. And if they can't come here, we'll do it via video. Mark, where are they? Where do they live right now? Where are they at? Let me know on that one. Lots of April and May pirates around. There are going to be a lot of pirates around in April and May. Well, she is Scottish. She might be born just as hairy. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully she'll be just as cute as ever and looks so much like her mom. All right. Beaufort, North Carolina. Okay, that's not that far away. Maybe we could entice them to come down for a couple of days in. And I don't need to look at all the different events that are going on up that way. So, Mark, if you can bang heads with me on that one, let's see what we can do. Maybe we could do some kind of a memorial or something here in St. Augustine, the oldest city in the nation. That would be kind of cool. An episode on how pirates took care of their health and medical emergencies would be interesting. You know what? I like that idea. Nightingale, you might have now just been promoted. Let's do some research. I'll let you do some research, come up with what you can, and I'll do some research, and we'll do an episode on the medical profession with the pirates. That's a great idea. What do you think, Davey?
Yeah, I like that one.
I like that one a lot. And I like the one with Captain Sinbad. I like that one. And, well, I'm partial to the one with my granddaughter. There's Anaria. Everybody say hi, Anaria. Wait. Anaria is the girl, right? Not the cat?
Yeah, so Anara is my daughter, and this is her cat, Maddie Watson.
Hello there, little one. How are you? It's nice to see you.
How you doing?
Then she fades out.
She's being funny because it's what she does.
Yeah, I get that. Yep. Now we got it. Hey, you should get Bubby up there, Davey. Then we can have 2 cat butts.
Thinks the cat needs to be on all the videos.
Yeah, of course. Wait a minute. Let's see here. I can go down here and go. That might be one of those times where, well, maybe we just need a toilet flush. All right. So yes, I would love to do all of those ideas for shows. It would be a lot of fun. Heard that cat meow. Rum is gone because drink more rum. So here's one for you, Parlay 8. I went on a diet about a week ago, but the diet says I can drink rum, believe it or not. I can drink rum, vodka, or tequila. So the answer is yes, yes, and yes. And if you're a tequila drinker, I'm going to introduce you to a really cool tequila this weekend. If you're not a tequila drinker, then it's more for me. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Parlay 8, both Deborah and Jay will be in St. Augustine on Sunday. We'll be meeting up with quite a few other pirates, some of them in the order, some of them hoping to be in the order. So we're looking at it being an enjoyable weekend. I will meet everybody down there. My wife will be hanging out with me also. So let's see. Liquid diet. Yes, it is a liquid diet. But believe it or not, I believe I have lost, let's see, as of yesterday, believe it or not, I've lost right around 8 to 10 pounds. I drink rum and lose 3 days. Well, I don't have the time to lose them, that's for sure. Lashing likes tequila. Good. Lashing, I have a great tequila. I don't have a bottle of it here, but so far as I know, the only place that has it in town is the St. Augustine Seafood Company bar, which is, part of the property that I work with. So we may have to make a stop there. We'll talk to Robert and Emily. They're the ones making all the plans. Aye. Kiko laughed. Very good. So we've got some good ideas. Mark, I really do want to do an episode. So let me know what we can do about that. But I really do want to do one. And the thank you for the Seafood Festival. It was an honor to have you here. I feel like, wow, you guys put up with my singing to allow me to sing with you. It's always fun. So, Davey, do we have anything else right now? It's joke of the week, right? Sorry, I just looked at my other screen. There. Oh, I told you to get a parrot. I like that one. Wow, that could almost. Wait a minute, put that back up.
I thought we could have cartoon of the week.
Hey, cartoon of the week. We might have to do that too. Hey, Parlay 8. Does that remind you of any pirate we all know? Just saying. All right.
Are we still on the horizon?
No. Well, we kind of combine the horizon and the guest. So, oh yeah, we do have that one. I forgot. Thank you for the reminder, Davey. This Saturday coming up, our friends at the Queen Anne's Revenge, their crew down there in Ormond Beach, will be doing a pirate mini master. They use this to raise money for the charity that they do, and there's all the information you need. Surfers for Autism is who they do their work for, and it's a fun time. I unfortunately can't be down there. I have to put in time at the museum this Saturday. So I went last year, had a good time, but I can't go this year. So we'll see what happens. I hope they do well. We wish them luck. And if you have a chance, get on down there and enjoy a little bit of sunshine and golf down in Ormond Beach. Thank you, Davey. Did I miss anything else?
You want to talk anything about that?
That's a good point. Ladies and gentlemen, that's 30 pirates from around the world, not just the United States, the world. And I spent some time over the weekend making sure each and every one of them were on my friends list so I can talk to some of them, because the order has to the order has to make votes coming up, and each order member gets 12 votes. And out of that 30, only 12 will be chosen. So we'll see what happens. There are some good people in that, some really good people. Out of all of them, I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I know almost half. And some of them that I didn't know personally, but were on my Facebook page. But now all of them are. What is that? Second-rate parks, cheap viewers on Streamboot. What are we getting?
Just ignore that. That's on
that?
Twitch. Just ignore it.
Oh, okay. That
It's
or somebody.
spammers.
All right. Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be making our votes, and the induction of those 12 plus 1 will happen in 2026. The location of the induction has not been chosen yet, so we'll see what happens. Thank you, Davey. Anything else I missed?
I don't think so.
Mandy, we've got a con coming up soon, right?
So the applications went up. So I just officially finished the applications for the press badges for the August con in Tampa. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, and we're already online to do Ancient City Con. I'm going to finalize that this week. Very good. And Parlay 8 Lashing says, I know half of them personally as well. The last couple of days, I've had a few small conversations with several of them, and it was nice to get to know some of them. So I put a post out to the order about getting to know and joining up, and so we'll see how everybody lies with that one. Very good. Well, I guess then, Davey, and we've gone over our 45-minute mark, so let's just do the joke of the week, and then we'll do our other things that we do. We've had a good conversation. We've had a lot of good input from our panel. I love it.
Okay, it's time for the answer to the joke of the week. Why did the pirate allow rats to eat his pie on the ship? The answer is they were pirates. Don't be shaking your head at me, Mandy Joe.
I knew it was pirates. Now there, that name that just popped up. It's all right there, Mr. Dodson. It is all right. Tardiness is all right. We just kind of wing it on the show anyway. Mr. Dodson there is one of our nominees, and I will be meeting him in person this weekend. So I look forward to that, Mr. Dodson. We have reached towards the end of our show, though, but I thank you very much for catching up with us, and we will be talking for sure. And on that note, Davey, what's our thank you video look like?
The Captain Quarters Podcast is always searching the world for history, knowledge, and adventure. It takes a crew to run a podcast, so we take this opportunity to thank those who help keep this podcast going. The crew: Captain William Mayhem, Navigator Davey Longwood, Cartographer Mandy Joe. Our charities we support: Alias Acres, Humane Society, Inc. The 3 major charities we support, but always room for more. You too could be part of the show and support the show in many ways. Go to Patreon. For a small monthly contribution, become a Powder Monkey or First Mate sponsor. Go to YouTube and hit the like and subscribe buttons to join our ranks and support the show. It does take a crew. Thank you.
Very good. And there are our channels. Ladies and gentlemen, once the show ends here on YouTube, you find it downloading on Spotify, Instagram, Twitch, and Facebook. We have a Facebook page. We hope you'll join us there. Hey, if you just want to listen to us, because I know it is kind of hard to put up with this piratical face, then catch us on Apple Podcast or Spotify. You can listen to us there. Castbox, Stitcher, Twitcher, or Twitter. Music, Amazon, and iHeartRadio. We're on all of it. And if I were to look at it, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 platforms we're on. Wow. We're doing well. And, of course, how well are we doing, Davey? Very good. And to answer my son's question, I am not on TikTok. I dropped off of TikTok, but I think, and since I have Mandy and Davey here, I think we should create a Captain's Quarters TikTok channel. What do you think?
If you're producing enough shorts for TikTok, then yeah, because TikTok's not a long video. So it wouldn't be able to correlate over. So it'd be more or less used as marketing to bring people back over.
I think we should do that. And I think if we just form one that is a Captain's Quarters podcast TikTok, and we can figure a way to shorten it, but then all three of us have access to it so we can use it whenever we need to, right?
Yeah, well, and we can download some of the other shorts from YouTube to start boosting it to get it to go. Like I can sit down with Davey and play with that a little bit later. All
right, good. Let's talk about that this week. I'm all about let's really pep this show in and get it going here. All right. On that note, I think we've reached the end. I'd like to thank everybody for being a part of the show. I'd like to say, hey, wait a minute. I just saw another name in there. Lord Imperatus. I didn't see that right away. From the White Sands. All right, very good. So ladies and gentlemen, we've reached that point in the show where we have to pull away from the dock and head on to another adventure. My adventure this weekend will be to meet several of my good friends who are members of the order. Deborah, Robert, and Emily. Several of my good friends who are not yet. That would be Jay for sure. Also, I may be running into Jeff DiPolito and let's see, and Michael Dodson and PJ. I've heard PJ will be in town also. And I look forward to meeting all three of them so that I can make a determination on what direction my votes are going to go. For now, though, ladies and gentlemen, I will be at the museum Saturday during the day. And I'm working on a special Saturday project through the summertime. So let's see what I can do with that. Davey and I are working on some ideas for shorts, and we are going to start, hopefully in May, working on a movie. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a movie to make fun of pirates, because I just can't be serious. It's always a grand time to have everyone on the show. We appreciate each and every one of you. And how do we log out, Davey? Take her out.
Part of the podcast.
Part of the crew.
Always. We can't do it without you. Well, we could, but it's just not as much fun as doing it with you. So, ladies and gentlemen, join us next week at 8 p.m. for Captain's Quarters podcast right here in the oldest city, St. Augustine, Florida. And be watching. I have two things coming up. We may be doing some special episodes between now and the first part of May that will not be on Monday nights, but we'll be advertising them. And many of you know that my good brother over in Panama City Beach, he has lost most of his eyesight. And I'm working on a project to raise a bunch of money to help him in all of his shifting over into a new lifestyle. And I hope that the podcast and my own pirate crew will help support that in any way they can. For now, though, ladies and gentlemen, we say cheers, and we'll see you all on the next time around. Mandy, go get some sleep.
With wit and charm, they make it clear. History.